Good day, YouTube. I was asked to explain how the process works when the military pays for your education and then sends you through a commissioning source leading to becoming an officer in the Air Force. So there's a few ways that I can think of how this is done. Of course, my experience is with the Air Force. Let's say the first route is you go through Air Force ROTC. You're either under contract. If you are, you're most likely going to get some type of scholarship. That could be a partial scholarship or that could be a full ride scholarship. It depends on your application process, if you've met the requirements and your agreement with Air Force ROTC. So my daughter, for example, is doing ROTC. She's a freshman, but she's not under scholarship. So her parents, my wife and I, are paying for her school. Second route that I can think of is the Air Force Academy, and that is a 4-year institution where you're a full-time student and they pay for everything from your academics to your room and board as well. And then when you graduate that program, as long as you successfully graduate, it will lead to a commission in the Air Force. The other route that I can think of is, let's say you're already in the military. Let's say you're enlisted. You can use tuition assistance to pay up to $4,500 per year for you to get your degree. The difference is that's just for you to get your degree. It's not leading to a commissioning opportunity unless you apply for either Officer Training School for the Air Force, OTS, or maybe the Army, OCS, Officer Candidate School, if I'm not mistaken, that's what that stands for. So you have to apply and you have to be accepted, and then you have to go through that commissioning program. That's how the military, those are 3 options right there that I can think of, that the military will actually pay for your school or partial school, and then you go through ROTC, like I said, for either 3 or 4 years, the Air Force Academy, which is 4, and then the enlisted example that I gave, where you actually get your degree and then you have to apply to be accepted into a OTS or OCS program. That's how you make it happen. Now, a lot of people contact me and say, hey, you know what? I would love to become an officer, and I think that's great. But eventually, that was my goal as well when I was enlisted. Eventually, I came to the decision that, let's say I did not get picked up for ROTC, my commissioning source. I realized that the Air Force was going to be a long-term career for me, and I would have stayed enlisted. The other thing is that sometimes people say, if I don't become an officer, I don't want to stay in. I respect that. However, you do what's best for yourself, and it's not for everyone. Sometimes enlisted is the best way to go. Sometimes commissioning and becoming an officer is the best way to go. The other thing with my observation being enlisted and officer is that once you become an officer, for sure, your level of responsibility does increase. So for example, my work week today, this week, and every week is very busy. I'm responsible for a team of right now 11 people. That's enlisted, civil service, contractors, reserve, guard, and active duty. So I have a big responsibility. And sometimes with that responsibility comes a little frustration on my part, because I'm used to being at the strategic level where at the tactical level, where you get the job done, where you are the functional expert. But that's not my responsibility anymore. My job, like my boss told me today, is at the strategic level. Meaning I have to have that vision and I have to understand what the team is doing, how they do it, but I don't have to know the weeds of that job. I have to have like a 30,000 feet view of the job. Those are 3 examples that I shared with you. Hopefully that's helpful. James, you asked the question. Today I'm wearing a Van Halen vintage t-shirt that I bought at a thrift shop. In the back it says Van Halen 1991. Paid $3 for it. It's a size XL. It's shrunk to maybe a small, a snug large. Hopefully this video explained how that works. Have a great day.